Hey guys, I found an interesting video on this Reddit mod situation. He brings up some interesting points that I didn't even think of in my, I guess, coverage on it. Check this out. Okay, what this Reddit mod doesn't understand.
Okay, so I've waited a few days to make a video about this because I didn't want to just be another person leaping on the bandwagon, attacking a guy for the way that he looks. Because, you know what they say about people in glass houses, and mine might just be the glassiest. So I waited a few days just to try and get a bit more information. It seems like more information is not forthcoming, so I'm just going to chat about it now. I want to talk to you about the Reddit mod situation. So a couple of days ago, this guy, his name is Brian. Everyone say, hi, Brian. Brian was the lead mod of the Livestream Fails community on Reddit. And recently he released a video addressed to the CEO of Reddit, a guy called Spez. Now I'm going to link the video in the description. You can go watch it in your own time. It's about 20 minutes long, but I'm going to give you a rundown of what is basically said in that video so that you don't have to. But I do recommend that you sit and watch it so that you can get the full picture. And then maybe come back to this video. Please come back to this video. So the long story short of this is there was a game show which had been announced online called the $1 Million Fan. And in the game show, it would be Twitch streamers and their biggest fans who would be competing to prove that they are the biggest fan of the individual streamer who was signed up to, to be on that episode. So say Extra Emily had been signed up to this show, and so her top fans would be competing to prove that they're the biggest fan, which seems terrible, by the way, as a guy who's been streaming.
That's not something that I originally thought of. If we just take a good fat look at how TwitchCon went with what happened to Emaru, sad things, you got basically SA'd. And if any of you know who, well, hey, you're looking at VTubers, you definitely know who K-san is. K-san's biggest fan recently. Bro, like a big old Japanese dude, last I remember. And he had a sweatshirt made specially that had her face all over it. That, to me, that's incredibly weird. And I could see her being incredibly uncomfortable from that. Makes fully sense. And I quote, oh, I'm a tier 3 subscriber to whatever yada yada e-girl. Biggest fans and tier 3 subs. The generic, I should say, because like tier 3 subbing to like people is great and all, but if you're like a quote unquote biggest fan and you hit that demographic of weird, yeah, most of the time biggest fans are not entirely the best or the most comfortable, but hey, I can speak, I promise, guys, I promise I can do words, most comfortable to be around just because of how terminally online they are, per se.
For 5 years, I can't imagine a worse hell than standing there and the most desperate ones of my fans, the ones who really want me to notice them.
Notice me, senpai.
Competing to prove I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. And at the end of this, there was a prize of $20 million apparently for the winner of the competition. The winner who was the biggest fan will get $20 million. To be honest, I think that I would have to be paid $20 million to be sat there watching my biggest fans compete for my attention. Now, at the time when the show was announced, Brian took it upon himself to reach out to the production team behind the $1 Million Fan and ask if they would like to form a sort of partnership with Livestream Fails. And in return, they would advertise for it on the subreddit. And that's all fine, except for the fact that the show was anything but legit. Many people are saying it's a scam. I wouldn't say that for legal reasons. I'd say it's scam-esque, but it was a scam, let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck. And in falling for this scam, it's a scam, Brian inadvertently was causing many other people to lose money on this scam because he'd pinned a post to the top of the subreddit announcing the show and how people could sign up in order to, potentially be selected. And then within the website, there was a series of purchases that you could make, and the purchases would make it so that you were more likely to be selected.
Yeah, to me, that just sounds like a over-convoluted, kind of giveaway drawing scam. Like, oh, hey, buy more product, you'll be more likely to be chosen. Along with the fact that this game show was a scam. Like, come on.
inducted as one of the contestants. And so, because of Brian pinning this post on the top of the subreddit, a lot of people had signed up, and it seems like a lot of people have lost money because of it. And so, in response to that, Brian got removed as the moderator from the subreddit, and thus he is making a video to addressing Spez, the CEO of Reddit. And now you're up to date. Now you're up to date on the situation, and now we can finally talk about it. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? You're up to date now. I don't know what people are talking about when they say that your attention span is shot. So, I just want to talk about this situation and sort of analyze everything that's gone on. And since I'm in my 2026 peace and love vibe, I won't be mocking his appearance. I'm sorry if you were expecting killer jokes about his appearance, but it shan't be.
I mean, I'm just saying, you commit Reddit mod actions, as he did, and you look like a generic Reddit mod, and you expect people not to make comment on what you look like? I mean, you're acting like a full power-tripping Reddit mod, and he looks like that. The internet has been a thing for a while. I've been on it for years. I just understand the fact that, hey, it's just a fact of life. Bro's gonna be made fun of for how he looks. Like, seriously, it's because of his actions. If he would have just took the L, nobody would have give a single flying fuck, to be honest. Nobody would. Nobody would even give a care what he looks like. But now, full chest, he acts like, oh, I'm this big, powerful dude. I should be treated like a celebrity. As of, just being a Reddit mod. Yawn. So, of course, people are going to talk like that about him. I can't necessarily say it's not deserved, and I can't say it's deserved because, well, if he wouldn't have done the action, the consequences would be very different. If he would just bitched about being removed and not catching that it was a scam and, oh, sorry, yada yada, but the entire power trippy bit is, I'm pretty sure, what got just about everybody. Don't go on a power trip. Nobody's going to make fun of what you apparently look like. It's not that hard.
From me. But what I will say is the vibe of his production there was very Gail Betica from Breaking Bad, wasn't it? It's very difficult to not notice. It's the exact same vibe going on. So I'm going to begin with offering an olive branch, which is, I can understand why Brian would fall for the scam. Because Mythic Talent, who is like a talent agency, for a bunch of streamers who had signed off on this show and had agreed for their streamers to be involved in it. If I saw that from the outside, I'd assume that the talent
Which there's that. I guess being that Mythic Talent did sign off on it. Okay, all good and fine. He might have just got caught out just as Mythic did. But I don't think he mentioned anything about Mythic Talent signing off on it. He just went on an entire power trip and was like, Reddit should give me resources because I'm one of their top mods on their biggest gaming subreddit. No, thank you, dude.
Agency had done their due diligence. So I can see why Brian would hear about this production and go, oh, Extra Emily's going to be on it. S-Fand is going to be on it. The sort of Bote sisters, they're going to be on it. This is legit. Fantastic. I can see why he would fall for that. However, Brian definitely made this worse because for some reason, Brian has a habit of taking steps outside of the remit of being a moderator. For example, Brian was deleting comments from people who were seemingly correctly calling this out to be a scam. Right. And the reason that he gives in his video for deleting those comments is that they were potentially libelous. Now, that's not your job as a moderator. Libel is something individuals are culpable for their own libelous comments. Right. If you see libel as a moderator on Reddit, you don't have to remove that. If it's a threat,
it's not against any rules.
If it's a threat of violence or doxing or something against the actual terms
of
service.
Sure, doxing makes sense.
Libel isn't technically against the terms of service as an individual. And all of the issue here emanates from the same place, which is Brian has this overinflated view of what being a moderator entails. In fact, when he describes why he became a mod in the first place, this is what he says.
I became a Reddit moderator for one reason, and that is because I think that Reddit communities and correspondingly its moderators have massive power and influence. And
he became a mod not to keep the peace, but so he could have power and influence. Hey, again, You look like an actually, this is how it goes. Actually, brother. No, not brother. Ew, that's no. No. Again, his actions and what he looks like makes it make sense for how people commented on how he looks. I understand the logic. It makes full sense. Don't be a power tripping Reddit mod and look like that, and you won't get this. It's that easy. I do agree on the side of things. Honestly, he deserves the bullying. As bad as it is to say on social media somebody deserves bullying, don't be a gross power tripper like this. Is that so hard? That shouldn't be so hard for people to understand. Don't act like this and look like this at the same time. Realistically, if he was some muscular ass Chad and he acted the same, it'd just be like lol Reddit mod. Ew, cringe. Moving on. To be honest.
For some reason, nobody seems to notice, care, or take this seriously. To summarize, Reddit moderators should be treated like celebrities or influencers, not because they deserve respect or anything, but because they actually have real power and influence.
Yes, Reddit mods have real power and influence, yet your social media stuff doesn't get any sort of views. Let's just compare to Charlie, Moist Critical. He makes a video, doesn't do a thumbnail for it, and in 24 hours gets over 1 million views. Your most successful videos were your Reddit mod antics, pissing and moaning about it, and then pissing and moaning about Charlie / Moist Critical. Your other stuff didn't get shit worth of views. So, where's your power and influence? You definitely can't influence somebody to buy a product because obviously you're not sponsored by anything worth of anything. So again, where is your power and influence that you apparently should have, being this big Reddit mod? Crazy thought. Very crazy thought.
I'm a mod because mods have this position of great power, like a celebrity would have. But the problem is, celebrity, yeah, they have certain power to a degree. They also have ego, and so do you, buddy. And you really don't want that mix.
Bro's ego does not match the power he actually has. His ego is that bigger than the sun. His ego should be as small as, I don't know, a rock. Not the sun. His ego is scaled to the freaking sun. Way too far. If anything, I'd say Moist Critical deserves to have that kind of ego and not a stupid greasy Reddit mod that thinks he's got power.
The power of enforcing rules and ego. I mean, if you want to see what that's like, look on the streets of America right now. Look at what's happening with ICE. That is what happens when you mix ego with rule enforcement. And the problem is, in that situation as a moderator, you do have power, but you don't have a lot of power. You don't even have ICE levels of power. You're not Congress creating the rules. You're not the police really having the power to enforce a lot of rules. You're basically a mall cop. You have limited power.
You're a comment section janitor. You are a post janitor. Keyword janitor. As in, you have the authority to clean garbage up. You have the authority to clean toilets. You have the authority to clean the floor we walk on. You have the authority, when I was sick and in school, of me vomiting on the floor and cleaning up my child vomit. Yeah, TLDR, Wes got sick majorly in school, and it was gross. And hey, a janitor cleaned up. That's crazy. That's all Reddit mods are janitors. Reddit mods are janitors. Rah!
You can tell people when they're doing things wrong, but you don't really have power, and you don't have this grand stature that you seem to think that you have. Brian says in his video that, great things can happen from communities on Reddit, and, it sort of implies that it's the job of the moderator to, spearhead these movements, but it isn't. In the same way that mall cops are not community leaders, they're just there to make sure that people are abiding by the rules. It is
keep the peace, too. That's it. That is it. You have nothing else.
the job of the people to do those things. It's not the job of the mod. And that's why his conclusion in the video...
Okay, perfect analogy, I think. Moist Critical is that too of, I would say, whoever runs ICE, I guess, whoever makes the rules for that. And the Mr. Reddit mod is at best a janitor again. Who enforces what? Who makes rules on enforcing what? Oh, wait, that's crazy. Definitely not Mr. Janitor.
Yeah, which is then all of this issue was caused because Reddit doesn't provide mods with the resources that they require.
If Reddit had offered me partnerships, if Reddit had pipelines to connect with kind of major companies.
Why would you need partnerships for being a grungy janitor? Why would you need company connections? Well, you're just a janitor. Are you transferring to another company? Do you need to have references to go work at this company? Come on, Mr. Reddit boy. Do you really need these connections just so you can transfer jobs? Because you as a Reddit mod don't need sponsorships. You don't need partnerships. You don't need any of that crap. This face is of a power tripper, and it's making me cringe quite painfully.
If Reddit had lawyers that were helping me, like reading over these contracts, reading over these agreements, none of these very real mistakes that I made would have happened.
That's bunkum, because it's not your job to form these partnerships. That was never your job.
Yeah, it's not your job to form a partnership whatsoever. It's not your job at all. His idea of partnering up with this apparent contest and LSF partnering and like the best clipper wins something. What? So somebody who clips a live stream, clips something happening in a live stream, wins something for that? I mean, it's all cool and great that you clip something, but winning a prize for being the quickest to clip an event that may or not be funny, may or not be worth it, something tells me that's not valuable. It's valuable on YouTube. Frickin' clip whomever you want and post them to your channel. That's your archive of clips. Cool. But you don't deserve like $3-4 grand for making a stupid 1 minute clip. Just saying.
You decided to go do that, and that's fine, by the way. If you want to be a member of the community and you want to go like create powerful partnerships on behalf of it, you can do that sort of thing, but not as a mod, because that's not the job of a mod. And then when things go sour like they did for you, you don't get to hide behind the shield of being a mod. I was just trying to be a good mod, but they didn't give me a... No, that's not the job of a mod, buddy. I mean, you're saying all of this could have been avoided if Spez gave you the resources to, you know, form these deals. But that's like me going, damn it, Spez, how am I supposed to perform brain surgery on people unless you bring me bodies to practice on? Spez, I can't be a good mod because you don't bring me bodies to practice neurosurgery on. The fact is, Brian just didn't do enough due diligence. If you're going to do this and step out of the remit, you don't do your due diligence. But if you're going to do that, you don't get to say this about Charlie.
Moist Critical brought up points about how an image on the marketing page was AI generated, or that the domain name was registered in Iceland, or that basically just the whole thing, it smelled bad. That's what he did.
I'm sorry, that's human. No, I need to retract that statement. I'm not sorry. That's human instinct. If something walks like it's a scam, looks like a scam, sounds like a scam, and smells like a scam, well, golly gee, it's probably a gosh darn scam. How crazy is that? Oh my, what? Excuse me?
He did this motion, and he said it smelled bad.
By the way, guys, for those of you who don't understand, that's what's called gesticulation. You're doing a motion to show like something happening, or you're moving your arms and hands with how you speak. A lot of people do that. It's normal. Again, if it smells, looks, acts like a scam, it's probably a scam.
But beyond that, it doesn't seem like he did much research.
You didn't do your due diligence.
You did even less research. All he did is made a video based on the fact, oh yeah, this is a scam. Dude Bro promoted it, and he's weird for that. You don't need to do research on if something's a scam if it's already been found out to be a scam. Like me in the big old 2026, do I need to go research Amway? I'm sorry for those that are young as heck. Amway was a multi-leveling marketing scheme from back in the day, aka a scam. Me in 2026, do I need to go investigate Amway, or is that just like already a shut and done case? Oh wait, it's already shut and done. I don't need to investigate that. So again, please, what did Charlie need to investigate? Please tell us that. Please tell us that, Reddit mod.
Charlie did. Charlie wasn't running around peddling this scam.
Exactly.
You were. That is all that I wanted to say about this. There's nothing else to say. Other than I think this guy needs to work on his humility a bit. You know, I don't think that this is the sort of personality that you would want in moderation. So I think
no, he doesn't belong as a moderator, period, on end, because he wasn't looking to do this job, well, quote-unquote job, or, you know, peacekeeping, doing things the right way. He wanted, because he would have power and influence. Please tell me again how wanting power and influence makes you a good moderator. Oh, wait, you can't, because that logic doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Oh my lord. Ah. But that being said, Reddit mod's still very stupid. Anybody that brags about being a mod, you need to chastise them. You need to make them realize the light of, oh, me being a moderator literally means less than dirt. Dirt has more utility because it grows food for many people. Reddit mods? No thank you. But either way, if you like my yappings, ramblings, my yada yadas, please like, comment, subscribe. That would be awesome. Please do so. That'd be so great. Makes me very happy. Make that number go bigger. Let's blow up, let's blast up them numbers, as Jellywig definitely didn't say. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.